Here is a new type of weird tale, and new thrills await you as you read about the sinister exploits of Dr. Satan, the world's weirdest criminal. He's an immensely wealthy man who has turned to crime to satisfy his longing for thrills, and he makes crime pay beyond the dreams of avarice. For if it did not pay, the game would not be to his liking. He swims to power with utter disregard for others, striking down those in his path cruelly, ruthlessly, inexorably, and weirdly. He is no ordinary villain, but is truly the mastermind of crime, possessing scientific knowledge and power that make him unique among all the so-called masterminds of fiction. He well merits the sobriquet of Dr. Satan, but he is opposed by another mind in many ways equal to his own, Ascott Keane, criminologist par excellence, known even to his intimate friends as only a millionaire playboy. He has turned to tracking down crime for the same reason that Dr. Satan has turned to committing crime, for the thrill of the game. This story is the first in a series of tales, each complete in itself, in which these two strange characters strive against each other. We know that you will be fascinated with the harrowing adventures of Dr. Satan and Ascott Keane, and each of these stories is a genuine weird tale, eerie, uncanny, and permeated with an icy breath of horror, like a cold breeze from the tomb.
So, Kaela, you asked last time, what was that musical where people dance and then go to hell?
Yeah, that's right.
It's Hell's A-Poppin'.
That's it. Thank you. Fuck.
It took me like an episode, but I figured it out. I figured I'd save that
Holy
information. Yeah, it's
shit.
Hell's A-Poppin'.
That's what it was. I did not remember for the life of me, even 2 weeks later, so thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, welcome to Undercooked Analysis. We're back. We're back to talk about the next part of Dr. Satan.
Part 2 of installment 1.
Of, what, 6 installments?
6 or 8, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
We have a guest.
Yes,
It's
so...
me! I'm the guest!
Hi, Matt.
Hi!
It's good to see you. How are you?
I turned older today.
Yeah, today's Matt's birthday.
I don't want to do that anymore.
We paused that.
I turned older today as well. I think we all did, if I'm being honest.
You
I
are
didn't. I
not
took my
wrong.
pills.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
You didn't go to M. Night Shyamalan's Island that makes you older?
Nah.
Like I did?
Oh,
They
God.
called me in, but I was like, I don't feel like it.
You know, it's probably for the best, honestly.
Oh, you know what? I want either Alan or Abysmii to explain what we've read so far to...
The truncated
That's right.
version.
Yeah, enlighten
We
me
have to
on
catch
Dr.
Matt
Satan.
up.
Is this what Rob Zombie based his hit movie House of a Thousand Corpses on?
I did make that joke last time.
Hey!
Hey!
Great minds think alike, probably.
Hey!
Must be the money. No, okay, so to be very, very... Because I don't want to give away our in-jokes. I want you to discover them as we read them. Hopefully they continue. But
Yeah.
the plot, the basic plot is Dr. Satan has been killing or ransoming millionaires to pay him money that they can't possibly afford. So he kills them anyway to send a message to other millionaires because he himself is a millionaire but is bored. So he's just doing crime for fun. And his foil is Ascott Keane, who I don't even know how to describe him. He's a weird long man. And is a genius as well. So it's kind of like two inverse Batmans just
Who also has
duking it
money.
out. And the one thing I will tell you is that there's a lot of ridiculous ass names in this story, and I hope there's more. And so far, Dr. Satan has killed people with what's called the death shrub or the death bush, which you inhale and then it grows out of you, like out of your head. Or he can kill you pyrokinetically with fire from a very long distance away through ancient Egyptian magic. And he has two creatures named Gerse and Bostiff. One looks like a legless gorilla, and one just is described as a monkey man. That's kind of it.
This already sounds like it's awesome.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Yeah, this is public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why don't we just make our own fucking like Dr. Satan cartoon and be like BTAS, you know, be a fucking hit. We're gonna like set up her own animated universe.
Oh, nothing would make me happier than to adapt this to the screen.
I will say right off the bat that I've been planning a Mutants and Masterminds campaign for a while that contains all sorts of like old pulp heroes and stuff. And Dr. Satan is fucking in now.
Yeah.
Just right into the big bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of RPGs, should we roll to see who's going to read the order? Oh, can just get
there was a probably Future Maureen put in an old timey recap at the beginning of this, so hopefully everybody's, including Matt, is a little more caught up. But if that's not the case, just you can go back and listen to part 1. This is going to be part of an ongoing series. But yeah, just like last time, and this did get dropped from the episode because we had a couple of audio issues. We're going to roll dice to see who goes first.
Okay, taking out my Fallout dice.
Heyo.
Ooh, I got a 19.
I'm gonna roll it. I got a 7.
17.
I got a nat 1.
I got a 10.
So Abysmii, Alan, David, Matt, then me.
Works for me.
Ah, shit.
Okay.
All right, everybody, brace yourselves. We're going back into the world of Dr. Satan.
Okay. Chapter 4, Satan's Trap. In front of a triple mirror before which was a bench holding hundreds of tiny pots and jars, Ascott Keane worked deftly. His fingers flew from jar to from jar. I just lost my fucking place. God damn. From jar to features? From jar to what? No, I didn't.
Holy shit!
Already?
Holy shit!
His fingers flew from jar to features, pot to face? What? This is the first sentence.
25-22, motherfuckers!
Oh, right. Super Bowl.
The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl.
With 3 seconds left!
We're never going to
Good
start
job,
this
Alan. You
episode.
won.
I did it! Me!
I always knew you could do it, son.
You've made your old pop proud.
Anyway, what are we doing?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this
face.
goddamn sentence. His fingers flew from jar to features, pot to face, and as they flew, his face subtly altered. Already it was no longer the face of Keane. It was a countenance which to Beatrice Dale was vaguely familiar, though she could not yet name it.
Your turn.
I muted myself because there's fireworks going on.
It's all good.
Oh,
This is a good day.
That hideous death shrub, he said. I can't yet see how it is used by Dr. Satan. You've seen Indian fakirs make a tree grow in a pot, haven't you? Said Keane. Yes, I've seen people grow a tree.
You see, Beatrice, water, oxygen, sunlight.
Did you know I'm
Stupid girl.
culturalist?
Silly woman. Usually it's a miniature orange tree. They make it grow before your eyes and pick an orange from it. Well, Dr. Satan's wizardry is something like that, only it utilizes a form of thorn bush that flowers in human substance instead of earth. How much weird shit just thrown out as fact in this story?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it me?
yeah.
Okay. He reshaped his lips with a collection. Wait, colledion? Wait.
What?
Okay,
A
excuse me.
comedian?
He reshaped his lips with a colledion like red lacquer, and the girl cried aloud. Keane's face was that of Walstead.
Oh.
Line for line, it was Walstead's slightly puffy countenance that was reflected in the mirror. A close friend of the dead millionaire would have been deceived.
So he can shapeshift.
I figured it was about time we got to see what
What?
Ascot can do, but
Ascot Keane is magical. Okay.
well, I guess he's using makeup or something to really he's using like a disguise kit. That's the impression
hundreds
from
of
that.
the pots and jars. That's what he's doing.
Oh.
Yeah, he's putting on
okay.
makeup. He's trying to dress up right. He's trying to raise the curtain on the Muppet Show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
What are you planning to do, Ascot? Asked Beatrice. Keane began pinning thin pads to the lining of his coat to give his lean, strong body the bulk of Volstead's puffy body.
Even in death, we can't let Walstead go.
No.
Remember how
Remember Walstead?
I barely remember Walstead. Wasn't he some guy? He was some guy who flew a plane. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dr. Satan sent his note to Walstead to put the money in a trash can at Broadway and 76th Street. Very well, I'm going to take Walstead's place. Made up as him, I'll drop a package in that can and wait to see who picks it up.
Beatrice shook her beautiful coppery brown head. Walstead's death isn't out in the papers yet, but surely Dr. Satan must know that the man is dead, or are you hoping to fool him? Dr. Satan, said Keane dryly, hardly has to wait to get his information from the newspapers. Then he'll know that the man who looks like Walstead and who drops the package in the trash can can't possibly be Walstead.
That's right, said Keane, drawing on the padded coat and scrutinizing himself in the triple mirrors. But he'll guess it's you, and he'll almost certainly try to kill you. That's what I'm hoping. I kind of want to die, said Keane, putting on a hat.
I want Dr. Satan to assist my suicide.
Oh, God.
This is my last case, Beatrice. That's what I'm hoping, said Keane, putting on a hat of the type worn by Walstead. But Ascott, it's like this, said Keane. Dr. Satan hasn't met me yet. I think he'll underestimate me. So I'm rather stupidly disguising myself as Walstead, that stupid fat fuck Walstead, and going to the place where Walstead was to have gone, in the hope that Dr. Satan will trap me. In that event, his jaw squared, I think he'll be sorry.
Oh!
Confident aren't we, Mr. Keane?
Keane's gonna punch a bitch.
Don't come to the Millionaires Club tomorrow.
Keane tripped on his enormous balls. He stepped away from the mirrors, and it was not Keane who moved. It was Walstead. That fat piece of shit, fat fuck Walstead. In an antique Italian cabinet, there was an extra-wide drawer. Not as wide as that fat fuck Walstead, though. Keane pulled this out. It was a rolled papyrus that closely resembled the papyrus that had been spread wide in Dr. Satan's black room. Beside the pirate was a little stone... pirate?
You see a door that says pirate?
Beside the papyrus... a door that says private, Charlie.
No, totally a pirate that lives there.
Beside the papyrus was a little stone jar. Keane opened the jar and took from it a bit of greenish paste, which he touched to his forehead, the soles of his shoes, and the palms of his hands.
Marvelous beings, the ancient Egyptians, he said softly. I recognize the blue fire that burnt my chair, and would have consumed me if I'd been in there. The fire burned in many a temple along the Nile. What the Egyptian wizards concocted, they usually made fruitless by their further research.
I recognize that fire as being an Egyptian fire.
Magical fire.
Must be Egyptian.
I wrote my thesis paper for my master's on the different types of magical fire.
Well, you know what? This is in the 30s, so this was during like the kind of last golden heyday of Egyptology. Read a bunch of white people stealing shit from Egypt, but like that would definitely kind of make sense why this is in the story right now.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of this is again pulp at its finest. This is fantastic. This is the fact that Keane would just know by looking at it like, my enemy's using ancient Egyptian pyro magic. Beatrice caught his arm, her eyes fearful. Keane pressed her hand. Don't worry about me, my dear. I'll be back soon, and I think I'll be back with news that this Dr. Satan, new peril to a city as yet ignorant of his existence, has passed on to the hell he should have been sent to long ago. He walked to the door, moving as Walstead had moved. His eyes met the girl's deep blue ones. Then he was gone, to be trapped by the creature who had brought to a new science of criminology all the knowledge of ancient magic and modern research. Dun, dun, dun.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So far, so good, huh?
This is pretty fucking great. 9 o'clock. Upper Broadway was crowded with night shoppers and moviegoers. Among the crowds near 76th Street moved a tall, slightly paunchy man who kept his face shadowed by the brim of his fucking hat. A face that many in the city would have sworn was that of a ghost of the dead Walstead.
Walstead's been dead for all of like an hour when this took place, or maybe even like 15 minutes.
Everybody knows that Walstead had died. He was that fucking fat.
You know what? I just realized this is 1935. We're in the midst of the Depression, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder this thing is so keen on killing millionaires. This whole narrative.
Socialist hero Dr.
Except Dr. Satan's also a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's using his money.
He's like, one of the guys that I don't know.
He's like Dolly Parton.
It's fine. He's working the system out from inside.
It's going to be really crazy later on in this story when we get to reveal that Dr. Satan is a young Bernie Sanders.
You see, I'm actually from Vermont.
All right. On the northeast corner of Broadway 76, a trash can showed.
What?
It showed. It wasn't there. It just appeared from the shadows.
I'm picturing like a Broadway marquee with flashing arrows and a sign pointing to a trash can. Yeah.
The man disguised as Walstead crossed to the can.
He had to take a shit so bad.
Oh, God. Pass it.
Under his arm was a small parcel done up in the newspaper. He dropped the parcel in the can and walked on. Without a backward glance, he rounded the next corner. But once around the corner, Keane stopped and went back, moving like a shadow. He peered through the double angle of a corner plate glass window at the trash can, and he saw a sinister miracle.
The can was of wire with interstices? Interstices? Whatever. In its walls through which the contents could be seen. It was a fucking wire trash can. Shut up. And Keane had
Paid
tossed
by
the
the
package
word.
into it.
Paid by the word. Paid by the word.
The can had been half full of refuse. Now the old papers and odds and ends of trash seemed to be melting away like water, draining down through a hole. Lower and lower the contents sank till finally the can was empty. Keane shook his head a little, eyes gleaming like ice. Transmission of substance through empty air, he breathed. One of the secrets of nature no man is supposed to have unlocked. You're a terrible adversary, Dr. Satan. Damn right. None
It's
in the
about
crowd.
time you recognize me, Keane, you beautiful bitch.
None in the crowd so close to the can had noted the way the refuse slowly disappeared from within it. But Keane had caught it all. Moreover, he had seen that the trash had disappeared first from the north side of the can, as though it were flowing in that direction, melting into thin air as it flowed. The north side of the can, toward him.
Keane slunk into a doorway. His quick eyes His quick eyes roved over the Broadway crowd, and in a moment they rested on a figure that tensed his body as a hound's body is tensed at the scent of a fox. A tall, shambling man, across the street from the trash container, was walking slowly toward the 72nd Street subway entrance. Under his arm was held a parcel, done up in newspaper. Keane's lips thinned. Dr. Satan was making sure he saw the parcel and followed the carrier. He stepped unobtrusively from the doorway and into the Broadway crowds, where he followed the tall, shambling figure to the subway entrance. Was the tall figure that of Dr. Satan himself? Or was it one of his helpers? Keane did not know. But he did know that he would have shot the man down in cold blood on the chance that a diabolical career would have been nipped in the bud. Had he not been fully aware that no weapon as crude as an automatic could prevail over an opponent like Dr. Satan. He does keep that thing on him, though. You best fucking believe.
I left my magic gun in my other coat pocket.
Damn it.
Ain't a damn thing changed. I still keep that thing right in front of my shirt.
About to air it out.
The tall figure got off the subway at a Greenwich Village station. Keane followed a block behind. His body was taut and stretched as a stretched tendon. He knew he was to be trapped, to be brought to a carefully devised death. He knew that Dr. Satan had, for the moment, dropped all other plans to concentrate on removing him so that he could follow his criminal career unhampered. Could he stay unharmed in that trap till he had overcome the man? Was his intellect the equal of that which could cause solid matter to dissolve and reappear in another spot?
He was prepared for violence. As he walked along the dark village street after the tall figure, he was ready for anything from a bullet or knife or some other shit in the dark to an attack and an abduction, whatever, by masked men springing on him from the dark areas. But he was not prepared for the thing that actually did happen.
Suddenly clowns.
Bullies.
Suddenly, 9 other Walsteads jumped out.
Their mass choking him. At one moment, he was following the tall figure. At the next, the figure ahead had disappeared, and Keane was still moving forward, though he had willed his body to halt while he gazed around to see where the figure could have gone to. Moving forward against his will, against the conscious command of his brain. Pass it on.
Keane strove to stop, to walk to right or left. He could not. His muscles were driven by another's will. And now another thing happened, and thing even more frightening. He began to lose his sight.
Oh my God, a typo from 1935.
Holy shit.
Till lost his sight. The dark street, the partly lighted buildings lining it, the sidewalk before him, all slowly faded from his sight. But his body kept moving slowly, surely forward. In a moment, he was blind. He could not see a thing, but his feet seemed able to see. They bore on. Yeah, he was fucking blind. He's still fucking moving. Okay. They bore him on with a stumble, raising for curbs, lowering for cutters. No shit.
Just levitating.
Ascott Keane, no clip through the world in the T-pose.
Thus, with no man forcing him, apparently, blindfolded as surely as if thick cloths were tied over his eyes, Keane moved to the will of Dr. Satan, toward the trap. Not really a trap that you walk into if someone just kind of forces you into it, but he felt himself turn. Under his hand was an iron railing. He felt himself going down steps. A door creaked open in front of him. He walked on, totally blind, and heard the soft creak and a slam behind him. More stairs downward, hands outstretched to scrape along the moist walls of a passage, like a low tunnel. Steps again, a clang over his head as though a stone trap door had been battened down above him. Finally, a swish of drapes and a harsh, monotone voice that made every nerve in his body twitch. No need to speculate on the ownership of that voice. Its vibrant arrogance and deadly coldness told him it was the voice of Dr. Satan himself, and he was in the grim masquerader's hidden headquarters.
Dun dun dun.
End
chapter 4.
I used to play bass for Grim Masqueraders.
Hell yeah. Oh, I still am having a hard time wrapping my head around exactly what Dr. Satan can do.
Hold on. No.
But this is intense.
Apparently
Let's
everything.
review, shall
That
we?
voice, its vibrant arrogance and deadly coldness told him, yeah!
It's me, Keane! Dr. Satan!
You see that shit I did with the trash can?
That was pretty fucking sick, wasn't it?
I'm gonna marry your dad.
There we go.
There it is.
The two titans.
The two titans, huh? That's the next one?
Yeah.
Do we want to pause for a moment to review what just happened, though?
So, Dr. Satan, the Super Bowl.
No, Satan.
Yeah. Paprika just came in and was like, why are there fireworks at the Super Bowl?
Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. That's one thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
My dogs have not been enjoying the fireworks outside. That's another thing that happened. Dr. Satan... Okay. Man, it's hard.
He somehow hypnotized Keane when Keane dropped off the package in the
Trash can.
the trash can. I don't know if it happened before or after that.
Can.
And now he's being whisked away by an unseen force to the lair of Dr. Satan or something. I'm sure we're going to get a very long monologue as to why and how it happened.
Yeah, I'm all looking forward to this because these two feel like they can't wait to monologue at each other.
Well, it's going to be great.
Oh man. Okay. Alan's going to start us on the next chapter, I think.
Okay, Chapter 5. Remember the two titans. Just the two titans, actually. Slowly, Kane's eyesight returned to him to telegraph to his mind weird nightmare picture. So many bands I used to play bass for in this story. My God.
Seriously.
Black draped walls closed him in. Lounging against one wall were two men. A man with a giant's torso and no legs, and a creature with a hairy ape-like face in which were set bright, cruel little eyes. I'm glad we got the description of those two again, because it needed repeating.
Everyone.
Across from them was a metal brazier. Fraser. That's one of those words I've read but never said out loud before.
Yeah.
A metal
whatever.
Fraser.
Metal brazier.
Metal
My
Fraser.
brain thought brazier as well, actually.
Across from him was a metal brazier.
How do you think it
metal
looks,
Fraser.
Keen?
Across
I'm
from
looking
them
at-
was a robot Kelsey Grammer.
Thank you.
A brazier is a large metal container in which coal or charcoal is kept.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew what it was. It's just a word I've never said out loud before.
Oh, I didn't know what it was.
That helps. Google is your friend sometimes.
Yeah.
Set on a high tripod in which a small flame flickered. In the center of the room was a metal table, bare save for a small pinch of yellowish powder. And over this table was bending the man who had spoken. Bent over the table.
Oh.
Dear. Oh,
Like what you see,
you
King.
found me.
You forced me to come here. Oh, don't play coy.
A figure that set the blood to leaping in Keen's veins. Really? As his heart thudded with sudden acceleration in his breast. Are they about to fuck? A tall figure, robed in red, with a red mask over the face, red gloves on the hands, and a red skull cap from which protruded small, mocking imitations of Satan's horns.
I swear, if you would have read that out of context, your first thought would be, this is some kinky sex roleplay about to start.
Yeah.
I killed a lot of millionaires to get you here, Keen.
Dr. Satan turned from the metal table. His black eyes burned at Keen through the eye holes of the red mask. The mask quivered a little as the lips behind it moved. Welcome, Ascott Keane, came the sardonic words. We are honored that you should have gone to such trouble to visit us in our modest lair. Keen's face, looking in the red glare that illuminated the room like something cast in bronze, remained impassive. Wordlessly, he watched the diabolical figure in red. The mockery faded from Dr. Satan's voice. His harsh tone was edged with steel as he said, You committed suicide when you resolved a month ago to devote your life to destroying me. Oh, yes, I knew of the resolve the instant it was made. I have ways of knowing what is in men's minds. Do I concede that you were able shortly after that to shield your brain from me? Tell me, Ascott Keane, what warned you of my existence?
Oh yeah, how did you learn about him a month ago?
Yeah, well,
This is what was in the last chapter. It was like, oh, I heard about Dr. Satan a month ago. Something happened.
Oh, that's right. Okay. But he didn't act on it until that fat fuck Wallstead showed up.
30 people had to die until he was like, all right, fine.
This guy's just some crank in a devil outfit, but he's killed a bunch of millionaires.
30 people had to die, but Wallstead counted as like 5 people, so it ran up the tally really fast.
Keane stood straight and tall before the red-robed figure. His resemblance to Wallstead faded, in spite of makeup, with the altering of his expression. He was Keane again, regardless of collodion painted lips and padded clothes. A month ago, he said, I talked with the son of a bankrupt friend of mine. The boy, a wild and not very strong character, said nothing significant, but I too can read a little of what is in men's minds. And in his, I caught a glimpse of a figure in Satan's red masquerade. I got a hint of the man's background and motives. A rich bitch, still young, jaded with purchased thrills, with no more humanity in his heart than a snake. Out to become the world's leading criminal, a man whose whimsical choice of name, Dr. Satan, could not have been more apt in expressing the ruthlessness of his purpose. A sleek beast, playing a monstrous game, a thing to be stamped out as soon as possible. The black eyes gleamed through the satanic mask.
Let's back up.
Sleek beast.
Sleek beast. Damn.
Am I to now understand that both our antagonist and our protagonist have psychic powers?
No, I think Ascott Keane is saying, like, I did this through deductive reasoning. I think that's what he's saying. I could be wrong, though.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards psychic powers right now, because why the fuck not? Deductive reasoning would be one thing, but you'd have to actually explain it, and I don't think our author's going to explain it, so...
Young Monroe you are talking about. Fortunately, he did not know my identity at that time. And now no one will ever know. I'll steal it, and no one will. Monroe is no longer in a position to talk, and some papers he left behind with his lawyer have been destroyed within the hour. Again, the arrogant voice hardened. So you decide to be the one to annihilate me, noble Keane. But the roles will be reversed. It is you who will be annihilated. I marked you at the start as a man to be killed. Wealthy yourself, with a fairly analytical mind. You have entertained yourself for years by scotching crime?
Huh.
He scotches crime.
Yeah, he tapes it up.
But your career ends with me, Keane. It ends now, in this room. Hell yeah.
Gers and Bostif slowly left the wall they had been lounging against. Gers came with quick, small steps to Keene's left side. Bostif hitched his great body with swinging movements of his huge arms to Keene's right side. Keane still stayed motionless, futile to attempt to overpower Dr. Satan physically. It could not have been done even had the gigantic Bostif and the agile Gers not been there in the black-walled room. The walls of the trap he had entered were strong walls, and its teeth were sharp teeth, from which there seemed no escape. But Keene's gray eyes were steadfast on the masked face of Dr. Satan, and there was no weakening of resolution in the square line of his jaw. Dr. Satan repeated an order he had given once before on that day.
Stiff, he said softly. The iron box. The legless giant hitched his way to the wall, drew back a sable drape, then pulled from the niche in the stonework the coffin-like metal box. Dr. Satan stared at Keane with green glinting eyes. The stare held, minute after minute. Keene's eyes slowly glazed. You are asleep! groaned Dr. Satan at length. I'm asleep, breathed Keane. Gers and Bostif stared at each other, with savage expectance on their faces. You will do whatever I command, Dr. Satan said. Yeah, I'll do whatever you command, said Scene like an automaton.
Take off your pants. Slowly.
Oh boy.
No.
Dr. Satan's red-gloved hand went out toward Keene's head.
Oh no.
He plucked 3 hairs and laid them over the small mound of yellowish powder on the table. Act for act, he was duplicating the scene in which a treacherous disciple had been reduced from a man to a pinch of ashes.
Oh, he's giving them the bitch death.
Yes, this is how much I think of you, Keane. You fuck. Take the lid from the box, Bostif. The legless giant lifted the iron cover from the coffin. Within it, he could be seen scattered fine ash. Keane, lie down in the box. The black eyes gleamed with a feral light, and Ascott Keane slowly walked to the box and lowered his body into it. Keane lay there, gazing up with wide, glazed eyes.
Bostif placed the lid back on the box. His dull eyes went from the box to the niche in the wall. What?
Go closer to the mic.
Shall I start from the top then?
Yeah.
Sure, just be safe.
Where was I? Bostif placed the lid back on the box. His dull eyes went from the box to the niche in the wall. No! Dr. Satan answered his unspoken question. We'll not put the box in its crypt. Leave it where it is. I want to watch this.
He's gonna be good.
Yeah. The red-gloved hands clenched with eloquent triumph and revenge. The red-robed figure towered in the room. Then Dr. Satan turned to the metal box.
He picks up a bit of the yellowish powder and crumbled it between powerful fingers. The tiny heap on the table burst into clear blue flames. The eyes of Dr. Satan and his 2 servants turned toward the metal box in which lay Keane. Swiftly, the box glowed dull red, cherry red, white hot. Its rays beat against the faces of the 3, set the sable drapes to billowing a little. And in that, oh my god, they're just gonna kill. Wow! In that white hot metal coffin, a thing of flesh and blood was lying. Or had been lying when the blue flame began to burn. Okay.
Interesting.
The metal box lost its fierce white glow. The heat rays beating from it faded in intensity. Dr. Satan's red robe stirred in the deep breath that he drew. And so ends Ascott Keane, he said vibrantly. The one obstacle in my path. I can be a king, an emperor, now, in time. He turned to Gerst and Bostif. Go, I have no more need of you. Boston
Aw.
hitched his huge body silently toward an end wall. He drew aside the drape and opened the door. Gers followed him out of it. Aw.
Well, that was a short story.
Wow.
And we're done.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
So much for Ascott Keane.
That much. Okay, something's got to give, right? Right.
Or Ascott's not dead. I'm sure he has some
That
trick up his
can't
sleeve.
be.
I'm waiting for the bullshit explanation.
Alone, Dr. Satan went to the cabinet and drew from a drawer the 10 bundles of currency containing $100,000 bills apiece. The bundles disappeared beneath the red robe. His hand went toward the switch that controlled the red illumination of the room, but his finger did not touch the switch. His hand remained suspended in the air while he watched the iron coffin, and his red-robed body was as immobile as that of a statue. The lid of the coffin was moving. Slowly, steadily it raised to slide from the box and clang against the floor. A hand and arm appeared above the edge of the box, which was still black hot. The hand was unharmed. The coat sleeve above it was charred a little at the cuff. That was all. Another hand and arm appeared, and then the body of Ascott Keane from the waist up as he sat in the coffin.
How?
Say what?
Damn, what a badass.
And I'm going to tell you all how I did it.
Right. Anyway. Silently, rigidly, turgidly, Dr. Satan glared at him, and Keane got out of the coffin and stood beside it. Wisps of smoke rose from here and there, from the singed garments, but his flesh was not even reddened by the fierce fire, and his gray eyes bored steadily at the black eyes behind that mask. What the Egyptians discovered, said softly,
No.
they rendered fruitless by accelerating discoveries. I read the origin of your blue flame in your first attempt on my life, Dr. Satan, and I took the precaution of using as armor some of the green paste the old priests used against the consuming fires of their enemies.
Oh, fuck
As-
me.
Oh, yeah.
But he put like a little bit on him. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's magic.
As everyone knows from the magical book of rock, paper, scissors, green paste beats blue flame.
Okay, he put it on his head and his shoes. So he should like be basically naked except for his shoes.
Oh.
I feel like you should. Oh, boy.
Okay, sure.
Sorry, everyone, guys, the fireworks are done. Shut up. I'm just making noise.
Why you always barking?
He took 2 slow steps toward the red-clad figure. You should have watched your flame instead of the iron coffin, Dr. Satan. You would have seen that the flame burned blue throughout, and it should have burned red if my body was devoured. This is fucking amateur shit. Come on, Dr. Satan.
You could have given me the death shrub. That would have succeeded, but no, you tried to give me the basic bitch death? How dare you, sir?
Blue flame? Really, Mr. Bond? How quaint.
The breathing of the red masked man sounded in the tense hush of the room. His eyes, glaring at the man who had escaped a fate that would have overwhelmed any other mortal on Earth, were frightful. Now we are alone, Dr. Satan.
Hot.
And my pants are off.
You have considerately sent your men away, as I hoped you would do. We'll see if your powers are as strong as you think they are. Oh boy!
Time for the dick measuring contest.
The glare faded from Dr. Satan's eyes, leaving them glacially cold. I'll not underestimate you a second time, Ascott Keane. The death shrub, the blue flame. You're armed against those, but I have other weapons. You'll never use them, Keane growled deep in his throat.
And then his hand shot up.
Whoa!
Oh.
Sorry.
I read around Dr. Satan's red-robed body, a softly glowing aura suddenly formed. It was like a ball of pale yellow light which enclosed him, a lambent shell against the red rays of the room's illumination. A snarl came from Dr. Satan's lips. Grr. Sounding muffled, as though the lambent shell had actual substance and could stifle sound. Straightened with the aura moving as his body straightened with the aura moving as his body moved. His hands moved, weaving strange designs in the yellowed air, and slowly the aura faded around from him.
What the fuck is going on?
Tendons ridged up on the back of Keene's outstretched hand. perspiration studded his forehead. Ooh.
His knees were weak.
Arms heavy, Dr. Satan spaghetti.
Is Dr. Satan going Super Saiyan right now?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
They're gonna power up for the next several arcs of this story. That's all we're gonna get.
Perspiration studded his forehead with the intensity of his effort to overwhelm the figure in red. The aura which he had flung around the red-robed body was one of the most powerful weapons known to occultism. A concentration of the pure form of electricity known as the life force. Mantling a living thing as it mantled Dr. Satan, it should have drained out his life, leaving behind nothing but inanimate clay. Yet it was not harming the man. What the fuck? I studied this shit for years, yelled Keane.
Ascott Keane is a Jedi Knight. What the
Slowly, relentlessly, the aura continued to fade, and then Dr. Satan's hands rose and leveled toward Keane. Strange duel between two titans. Two men who probably knew more of nature's dark secrets than any others on Earth. Odd battle with Keane, the force of morality, gradually being beaten down by the force of evil.
Gee, spell it out for us, why don't you?
For now, Keene's rigid arm was sinking as the yellow aura was almost disappeared from around Dr. Satan. Slowly, he sank to his knees, as if a great weight oppressed him, as though this great weight was that of some intangible sea, which could suffocate as well as weigh down. He began to gasp for breath. Louder and louder, his agonized breathing sounded in the room. Dr. Satan's black eyes glowed with triumph. This gets kinky at a lot of different times. It's interesting.
Just a couple of men throwing their life force at each other.
It's a normal Tuesday for me.
Keane could see nothing, could feel nothing, yet it was as if some colorless, invisible, tremendously heavy jelly were gradually hardening around him.
Oh!
Okay.
The red lights grew dimmer, though Dr. Satan had not touched the switch. Keane felt that he was almost lost. With enormous effort, he brought his arms up, spreading them wide at his sides. Mother of God, he whispered.
He's gonna summon the spirit bomb!
I was going to say, this almost sounded like Spirit Bomb a bit ago. Like a living cross he was in that position. He T-posed.
Yes!
Trunk and head the upright and arms the horizontal bars. Mother of God. Is he calling on Mary or something?
Yeah. Catholicism was
Hail Mary, full of grace.
thy kingdom come.
The Lord is with thee. Beat Dr. Satan's ass, please.
And then the Madonna appears and beats Dr. Satan within an inch of his life.
Oh my
Drop
God.
kicks.
If Madonna appears and fights Dr. Satan, this becomes the best fucking story ever written.
Oh. Dr. Satan's snarl was that of a beast. His eyes took on their feral green light with a fiendish disappointment, embittering their depths. And the great invisible sea that was beating Keane down gradually receded from around him. But as it receded, so dimmed the red lights till the two men were in blackness. "This time you preserve your life," Dr. Satan grated in the darkness. "Next time, you leave your life behind." There was a thud of sound, like a soft explosion.
Boom. Next time, began Keane, struggling to his
On
feet.
Dragon Ball Z!
And forcing his body forward through the last traces of the deadly, unseen sea. He stopped. He was alone in the black-walled room. Slowly, the lights came up again, as though shining even more clearly through a psychic thinning fog. Keane began wrenching the black drapes from the walls. He found a door and opened it. Ahead of him, he saw a low passage with steps at the end.
He ran down the passage, up the steps. In a moment, he was in the street, clutching the iron railing he had felt when he came there blinded. He was blinded. Cursing softly, fuck. He looked up and down the sidewalk. There was, of course, no sign of the red-clad figure. Defeat, he groaned.
Dr. Satan had made good on his escape, and with him had gone $1 million. He actually put money in it?
Well, he was pocketing the currency.
Fruit of his first fantastic crime. Defeat! This actually should sound like more like disappointed. Keene's wide shoulders sag, but only for a moment. Then they straightened. The first round was Dr. Satan's, but there would be another time. And then, knowing a little more of the manner of being he was pitted against, he could fight more effectively and win.
Another startling encounter between Ascott Keane and Dr. Satan will be published next month. Order your copy at your news dealers now.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Okay. So at the end of this story, Dr. Satan and Ascott Keane charged up their energy at each other, and then Dr. Satan left through a back door.
Yeah.
But only after Ascott Keane through the power of God and anime.
Yeah. Dr. Satan was like, "Oh, this is cringe," and then he just ran away.
Jesus Christ, Keane.
Fucking hell, Keane! You just pulled like the
Started talking about God and shit, and I was like, I'm out of here.
Are you trying to convert me, Keane? This won't work.
I honestly thought that Ascott Keane was going to be more like scientific and use stuff that was like, oh, I learned the Egyptians did this. What the fuck is this glowing light shit that he pulled out of his ass?
It's his key. Fine.
He T-posed and yelled "Mother of God."
I like that he was basically trying to Final Fantasy summon Mother Mary to come help him.
Can you imagine? So, like, after the fact, like, there's people on the street, right, walking around. The Keane just comes out of, like, the sewers or whatever, and he just yells "defeat." Imagine
Hell's
just
wrong
walking
with
by
you?
that. I mean, that's probably a normal day in New York.
Yeah.
But still.
It's kind of like walking through Los Angeles or Portland. You're just like, another day.
Another day of people screaming and wailing in the street. How not unusual.
What if his makeup was so good he comes out and he still cut to anybody else who would know he still looks like Walstead? So it's just Walstead standing there going, "Defeat!"
Well, his
Get away from me, you fat fuck.
Well, his disguise is like slowly falling apart, so like the seams are coming undone from his fat suit.
So, a man like dressed in like a decaying Santa Claus outfit bursts out of a hidden door and just silently curses to himself. So he's just like, "Fuck shit,
God damn it! God fucking shit! Hate this."
Defeat!"
I mean, that is LA. So.
Oh, man. Well, now I gotta know what happens next.
Mm-hmm. The Hunt Down issue 2.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a biplane in the artwork?
Sorry, I scrolled down to the next one, The Drome of the Living Dead. I'm tempted, but honestly, no, we gotta stick with Dr. Satan. We gotta see Dr. Satan through. Wow.
Yeah, no, we're maybe some of this other stuff another time, but and we'll probably do another story after this one and then come back to Dr. Satan. But
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, we can't. Let's not do too much of a good thing. Let's
leave some time.
Yeah.
We can't all Dr. Satan all the time. It's just, Dr. Satan is not completely taken over this channel yet.
May I address the audience?
Yes.
You may.
Listeners, I demand fan art of this encounter. Post it to wherever and link it in. I don't know what your guys' mechanism is, but just I want to see Dr. Satan versus Keane dressed up as a fat man duking it out, whichever way.
Beth? Please?
Like if someone could also, like, in the same like writing style, rewrite the end of this story where they just fuck each other.
It's gonna be most encounters. I bet.
Yeah.
God, these two are
And
so horny for each other.
And just send that to me.
For research purposes.
Yeah.
Of how
For
horny
research
I am.
purposes. I'm gonna jerk off to it.
That's the new writing. That's the new writing challenge.
Does it arouse Alan? Yes or no?
Welcome to the new Undercooked Analysis Writing Challenge. Get Alan off.
Fuck, I'm gonna start writing shit now. This sounds like a promising career.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Like,
Damn, Kaela.
no. There are people. Let's just say I've looked into.
What secret does Kaela know about me that she's about to?
I've looked into like writing erotica and like how lucrative it is, and it's surprisingly lucrative. But how it works is you have to write constantly. Like you always have to write something that's like a short story, make it horny as fuck, publish it. Women eat that shit up, but you have to like write on a monthly basis.
It's like a YouTube career. You have to just constantly pump out content.
Yeah, it's on a monthly basis, and
well, that explains why Chuck Tingle comes out with something like just about every week.
Oh, speaking of Chuck Tingle, hey, that's a good segue. Did you know that we're going to be reading one of his books in the next season of Darkly Lit, another fine podcast distributed by the Creative Horror Network? You can check that out on creativehorror.com, along with other shows like The Jameson Tapes and Midnight Marinera, The Witching Hour, Trick or Track, and more.
Ooh.
Yes. And if you want to hear the dregs for this episode and other fine extra content, including Alan.
There is one in the can recorded episode. The second episode of Alan Drinks and Watches a Movie, or Alan Drank and Watched a Movie, whatever it's called. That should be coming out probably I think next weekend.
Nice.
yeah.
And I drank and watched Angels in the Outfield because we talked about it during Kazan.
Yes.
I also intend to record a mini episode where I drink and watch the trailer for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2.
Ugh.
Oh, joy.
God.
Ugh.
Wow. Well, it seems like I ended up with a better deal here in that respect. In fact, at least when it comes to to answer the question, one of the books I pitched for the next season of Darkly Lit is Camp Damascus.
Oh, that's his horror book he came out with recently.
Yep. Yeah, gonna give that a look, see if it's good. Horror novel about a gay conversion camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not adding
Patreon.com.
anything because I've already read it.
Anyway, patreon.com/creative horror if you want to support the show. Any amount helps. We always appreciate it. Money goes toward helping us do cool shit, like keep the website running, which it did. And actually, thank you, patrons, because we did pay the fee for that just recently, and you helped. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, more Dr. Satan in the future, but we'll figure out what the next story is. Abysmii, thank you so much for setting this up for us, finding this, prompting us. Alan, thank you both for being so bemused at the cover that this became the thing that we do. And Matt, happy birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Yay!
Go Chiefs! Woo!
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinera, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.